do is make an inspection hole before we commit to walking out there. Say the fire's over there in that way. First thing you do when you get up here, first thing I'm looking for my material. Is it tar and gravel like this? Is it that white membrane? TP, what's it called?
TPDM.
That's
TPO.
TPO. You just want time off? TPO. Yeah, so that rolled on asphalt stuff I'm looking for, okay? What am I gonna have to be working through? Next thing I'm looking for is I'm looking for my dead loads. I'm looking, yes, to see what's the weight on here for the building. Obviously, if it's J.C. Penney's at 2 in the morning and I got a bunch of dead loads up here, I can just be like, man, it ain't worth it. Don't even go in there. This thing is ridiculous. But number two reason why I'm looking at dead loads is those things are heavy. So they don't just set those anywhere. They're going to set those on a structural member. So from either one side, left or right, or this way is going to be a structural member. So I'm going to start my cut at least 6 foot from the edge of the bearing wall. Why? Because we know the open bar joists are spaced 6 to 8 feet most times. If they're running this way, if I'm a general contractor, it makes no sense for me to put a beam right here, right? So I'm going to go at least 6 foot, pair up right here, move gravel out of my way, and I'm going to cut with my chainsaw. I'm going to do a plunge cut and cut out a 2x2 square is what I like doing. Cut that out, remove the material, get down to either the concrete or the corrugated steel. Remember, if the veins of my corrugated steel are running this way, my beams are running opposite. That's how they set those on. So, line up right here. I'm likely to find one if it's running this way. I'm likely to find a structural member if it's running this way. That makes sense? All right. Only thing we got to do to cut through this, literally move your foot, get a hook, slide it around, and just make a little area to make your cut. So we've got the chainsaw. First thing we're going to do, full RPM, run it in, just make a plunge cut till you feel resistance. When you feel resistance, back up just a touch and cut a 2x2 area. You go ahead and take that. A little bit there, yeah. Saw here, a chainsaw here, somebody on the rotary saw.
Can't see out of there.
That dust. That's what they're telling me. I felt resistance. I see that dust. We've got lightweight concrete. Cool. Alright, now you can either hook it with a trash hook or put your shovel in there and pull it up. So hook it. I'll put it right here in the middle. Smack in the middle, pull it up. Rotate it this way, like this. And get all I want it to get. It might not be sharp.
Sink that fucking TNT spike into it.
I'm frying it up. Try this one. Try this one. All right, so this is our concrete. It looks like Kyle cut all the way through it. We'll try not to do that to save our saw, okay? Now, who's got a pig? Pig. We're gonna either do a pig, the pike end of a Halligan, or the pick end of a flathead axe, and we're gonna or a pickaxe, and we're gonna drive it into the concrete. We're going to see how thick is this stuff. Does it just break apart? Is it pretty dense? We did that on that Mohawk Lab and it chipped. I go, that was different. It didn't break up like normal. And that should have been a red flag, but I had no idea that they made roofs out of concrete like that. So that's something just to go. So we're gonna do it to see how easy it breaks up, and then we're gonna see how deep it is. So it breaks up easy. Now pull it out. All right, so look, we know the thickness of it. It's not that thick, so we can remove it if we want to, but we can also just run our rotary saw straight through it. We've exposed our corrugated steel. He did cut through it with his chainsaw, so he was able to cut through all of this, but our corrugated steel vanes are running this way. Which way are they running? They're running, structure members are running opposite, right? When it comes time, it's not gonna make a difference here, but when it comes time to making our heat hole, we're gonna always try to cut on the mountain and don't cut in the valley. The reason why, you can look right here, trash builds up in the valley. If we really had it, this was really built up insulation, all your insulation is gonna get in here. This tar, this rock can fall in there just like that. There's just more stuff you're gonna sling, more stuff to jam up your rotary saw because it's got that fender on it, okay? Two, it's gonna bind. When you're making a big cut, it's more likely to bind and grab your saw if you're cutting in the valley. So cut on the mountains, and then there's one more reason, I just can't remember now. But those are the two big ones right there. So if you want to, use your rotary saw, cut diagonal across, and let's make it an inspection cut.
Was it because your connections are in the the cross members in the valleys?
Yeah, they're in the valleys as well. Oh, when they come together, they'll usually end up together in the valleys. Thicker. That's it. So it's going to be thicker. So if you're feeling it, you'll feel resistance. You'll feel something different. You think you're on a structure member, but you're not. You're just on two pieces of corrugated steel. That's the other one. Yep.
Dispatch Medic 2, truck 2, Medic 2 will be delayed response due to training.
So when we're doing this, we're going to cut across, cut here, and then cut here, making the triangle, not making the
Receive Agent 2, Agent 2, truck 2,
you
Medic
got
2
your
delayed
hook,
response.
you go ahead and start pushing this through. Just bend it down. So if you look in here, right, you can see your structural member. Should have one right here. One right there. So what I can do, I can take my 6-foot hook. This is why we want to clear this area out better than this, because we're going to be putting a tool in here. Okay, so we want to be sure to cut all this out, bend it in if we can. But I would like to put a tool in here and I can measure. But right now I can see we have a structural member right here and we have a structural member right here. If I can't see that, I'm gonna take my tool, it's a 6-foot hook, slide it in there till I feel it. And now if we're gonna make a heat hole, I can go, hey, there's one right there, stand up here on that one, slide it in, there's one right here. Now we're on our structural members and we can walk them out to make our heat holes. Make sense? So, all right. This was on tight when we started. Look how loose it is now. Yes, you can cut through lightweight concrete with the RDR chains. Yes, you can cut through metal with the RDR chains. This is what it did with just one small cut, 2x2. Imagine a 6x8, okay? Use this, like I said, feel resistance, pull up, make your cut. Remove the foam and stuff like that. You can cut into the concrete if you want, but really we're just trying to remove that foam area and pull it out. Make our mark. Everything else with the metal, concrete, we're gonna be using this one, okay? Because we want to try to save that as much as possible.
So your resistance is the metal you're feeling, right?
Yeah. So that's what you're hitting. That concrete, yeah. When you feel it, just back up just a touch and then frame it out. While we're here, everybody good, know how to tighten up the blades. So let's spread out. Do we have multiple saws?